Even the best weapons won't do anything unless you know how to use them.
Tango down.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 video game tutorial sequences.
Hi there.
Hi.
You're not going easy on me, are you?
Not so tight, that hurts.
Sorry about that.
For this list, we ranked our favorite tutorials based on how helpful, creative, and entertaining they are.
He can't be saved. He's still a threat. He's still your enemy.
Just so we're clear, a tutorial is a sequence in a game where you're explicitly taught its mechanics and controls.
Just a year old and already walking like a pro.
Opening levels that simply have you learning by doing, such as Super Mario Bros. World 1-1, don't count.
I know it's lame-clad, but that's how we're doing it.
Number 10, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Protagonist and former Navy SEAL Sam Fisher hasn't done fieldwork in years before he has to investigate the disappearances of 2 CIA officers. So, he gets a crash course refresher in this game's tutorial.
I'll be good. Be better than good.
It starts in an obstacle course, and it teaches you all of the movements you'll need later on.
Climb up onto that ledge, over that pool.
You'll also learn about breaking into doors, as well as the visibility meter, which lets you know whether or not you've been seen.
Have you started yet? Fisher! Holy Christmas, you're at the end. Phenomenal work. Let's move on.
Number 9, Little Big Planet.
Creating things is a doddle. And you can rampage through the creative process like there's no tomorrow.
After you beat the first 3 levels of this platformer, you'll get access to Create Mode, which allows you to make your own levels. There's a lot to learn about this mode, but the game teaches you everything you need to know through the reassuring voice of Stephen Fry,
It's the funny one on the top row.
as well as colorful visuals to make sure you're understanding everything.
Because you can literally create just about anything you blooming well want to now.
You'll learn a lot of helpful things, like how to place the objects that you've acquired.
And press action to stamp it into the scene.
Number 8, Half-Life.
Welcome to the HEV Mark IV protective system.
So much is great about this FPS, but one of its highlights was actually its tutorial, which was one of the first of its kind. Your HEV suit, the radiation-proof full body armor that protagonist Gordon wears, is a tricky tool to get used to.
Moving around in your HEV suit can be slightly disorienting at first.
Thankfully, the hazard course is here to help you learn how to jump, run, and duck while you're wearing it, as well as use weapons and items. It's all cleverly presented as a training session, hosted by a friendly hologram.
I am your holographic assistant. Let's begin by stepping into your suit.
Number 7, Alan Wake.
He was dead. I was convinced they'd put me in jail and I would never see Alice again.
Stephen King is referenced in the very beginning of this survival horror game, and its tutorial is atmospheric and spooky enough to be worthy of him.
Stephen King once wrote that nightmares exist outside of logic, and there's little fun to be had in explanations. They're antithetical to the poetry of fear.
It's set in a nightmare of the titular writer and protagonist, though it feels realistic enough to take place in real life.
Baby, just another nightmare. Everything's fine.
It makes for a compelling setting, and it also teaches you the movement mechanics as well as how to use a flashlight to fight your enemies. Number 6, Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Nice! Your fruit killing skills are remarkable. Captain Price wants to see you.
The Call of Duty titles are generally more beloved by gamers for their multiplayer modes than their campaigns, but this game had a fantastic tutorial. You play as the recent recruit, Soap, meaning that you'll need some training, which is where this sequence comes in.
What the hell kind of name is Soap, eh?
The cool part about this is that, like Half-Life and Splinter Cell, it makes sense in the context of the game. There's also good incentive to revisit this sequence, since you can try to beat your best time in the obstacle course.
Pretty good, Soap, but I've seen better. Climb up the ladder if you want another go.
Number 5, God of War 3.
A mountain that has come to be the absolute measure of strength and power.
This series is all about being epic, but the tutorial to this installment was particularly impressive. As you're shown the attack and movement controls, you quickly have to put them to use against the terrifying god of the sea, Poseidon. It's intimidating to have to face a boss right away, but you do have to learn those skills if you want to help Kratos get his revenge. Again. Number 4, Fallout 3.
You just stay here while Daddy runs to his office. You'll be okay, pal.
What better way to prepare you for the post-apocalyptic RPG action you'll soon have to face than by starting with how your character grew up?
It's a boy. A boy. We've got a son, Catherine. A beautiful, healthy baby boy.
After creating a character, you begin at the very moment of your birth, and then you're dropped back into your life at various important parts of their upbringing, like when your dad teaches you how to shoot. At the end, you'll take the GOAT, a sort of personality test that determines what skills you'll be strong in. Oh yeah, and tunnel snakes rule.
Come on, tunnel snakes. This little bitch isn't worth our time. Whatever you say, Butch. You're the boss. Tunnel snakes rule.
Number 3, Uncharted 2: Among Thieves.
That's my blood. That's my blood. It's a lot of my blood.
This action series is known for having a story and characters worthy of a Hollywood adventure movie, and the tutorial certainly sets the mood well. Here, you learn the basic movement controls while you're hanging on for dear life. Protagonist Nathan Drake has plenty more thrilling adventures to come, but trying to avoid plummeting to your death sure is an exciting start. Number 2, Portal 2.
I think this is a docking station. Get ready! Good news, that is not a docking station.
There's a lot of hilarious black humor throughout this puzzle FPS hybrid, but that's all evident from the beginning of the game in its tutorial.
Do you understand what I'm saying at all? Does any of this make any sense? Just tell me, just say yes. Okay, what you're doing there is jumping. You just jumped.
The sequence is cleverly framed as a wellness test, as a robotic voice instructs you to look at a pretty painting.
You should now feel mentally reinvigorated.
You get introduced to the title's gameplay and the comedic stylings of Wheatley, who helps you to try to get your bearings.
Okay, look, I wasn't going to mention this to you, but I'm in pretty hot water here.
Before we get to our number 1, let's take a look at some honorable mentions.
Press the triangle button to get into the car. And don't take all day, this is the tutorial.
Here you can see our massive stables, overseen by the level 9 ranger, Scott Malkinson, who has the power of diabetes.
Run your way through this little obstacle course.
Number 1, Far Cry 3: Blood Dragon. Taking the top spot is the game that mercilessly mocks other tutorials, and became a great tutorial itself in the process.
Jump, if you wish to jump.
It tells you hilariously stupid things, like what the difference between running and walking is, and protagonist Rex's frustration cleverly mimics the annoyance that players experience during other tutorial sequences.
Just let me kill people, damn it.
But it's not all banality and snide humor, because you do learn some important things, like how to stealthily kill your enemies with your knife. Do you agree with our list?
Don't answer that.
Which video game tutorial helped you through the early stretches of gameplay?
It was a pleasure working with you.
Be sure to move your mouse over to that big red button under the video that says subscribe and click it for more WatchMojo.com.
I hate tutorials, and this one is terrible.